Hi guys, hello and mabuhay. Welcome back to my channel, Junris React. Let's react another video request by Joseph, and let's travel to Russia. And I know that Russia and Ukraine have this war before, like past few months ago, but still I think they're trying to have peaceful in this one. And this is just an explanation, and the title of this video that we need to do some reaction for today is Putin's war on Ukraine explained. So, guys, I know that you are some of the people who are supporter in my channel, and they cannot understand of why I'm making or supporting or promoting Russia, and I'm doing my reaction, not promoting with war, or I'm into like what do you call this one, or like something to hurt somebody. But I respect both nations, I respect everybody. I just here to make some video reaction, not promoting with war, not promoting with something or country. I just have to learn, and like you guys also watching this video to learn, and like you can help me also at the comment section explaining things so that I can understand also, not just like you are trying to put into me that I'm promoting with war, I'm promoting with a channel or helping or supporting with Russia. No, I'm not like, I just wanted to learn more about these countries of what this happened. And yeah, and credit also with the owner of the video to Vox. Just watch the full video to the channel of Vox, because I know there are a lot of things explaining things, especially in war, like we will have to understand. And please do consider like and subscribe also to my channel, Junris React. And please, like, yeah, let's get to it, guys, and learn from this. I'm so excited. And Joseph, thank you for suggesting with this video.
You're a superhero.
In August 23, 1930, Hitler and say, sorry guys. Yeah,
Мною
I
принято
made the
решение
decision to
о
carry out
проведении специальной военной операции.
special military operation, Kiev, Ukraine.
Putin called this a special military operation, but it's clear this is a full-scale invasion.
Oh, it's
Была
invasion.
паника,
There was
истерика,
total
слезы.
silence. The
Как
flame
у
was
нас
higher than the
пламя
house.
было выше дома.
We're like in a cellar. I'm not sure if it's like deep enough to help us to survive.
Russian troops and tanks have entered Ukraine on all fronts. All these cities are under attack, including the capital of Kyiv, which has become Putin's main target. Many are sheltering in basements and metro stations
that's
across
sad.
Ukraine. There have been hundreds of casualties, and over 500,000 Ukrainians have been forced to flee their homes. This is one of Europe's largest wars since World War II.
Oh, so
Since then,
vast.
Europe's map has been shaped by political alliances. But now, Putin wants to redraw Europe's map by force.
Oh my. Please connect to Vox Atlas, guys.
Современная Украина целиком
Ukraine was
и
entirely
полностью
created by Russia.
была создана
That
Россией.
was, I think, his
Putin has
belief.
long claimed Ukraine belongs to Russia and they are one people.
We're not just close neighbors, we're one nation.
But Ukraine is a sovereign nation with its own language, culture, and political system.
really?
And while the two countries do have a shared history, Ukraine has fought
For
hard for its
independence,
own
yeah.
identity. Ukraine was part of the Russian Empire in the 18th and 19th centuries. In 1917, the Russian Revolution brought down the empire and the region spiraled into a civil war. Ukraine briefly gained independence from Russian rule, but was quickly taken over by the newly created Soviet Union as one of its first republics. Over the next decade, the Soviet Union brutally expanded its control, and by the end of World War II, it forged a sphere of influence over here, while the West held its influence over here, essentially dividing Europe and marking the beginning of the Cold War. The
This is
Soviet
helpful.
Union installed communist governments on their side, which were easy for them to control. But the West developed into democracies with capitalist economies. The deep ideological divide fueled distrust and tensions between the two sides, and soon these spheres hardened into military alliances. In 1949, these countries, along with the US and Canada, formed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, and promised to defend each other from invasion. A few years later, these countries joined the Soviet-led Warsaw Pact alliance,
Warsaw.
and each side built up its military to
It's
protect
Poland,
itself
because Poland's
from the
very
other.
strong.
Europe remained this way for decades, until one side finally collapsed. By late 1991, republics like Ukraine began declaring independence from Soviet domination.
Congratulations.
The Soviet Union dissolved into 15 independent countries, including a much weaker Russia. And the Soviet sphere of influence disappeared as many countries overthrew their communist governments. Even though the Cold War ended, the alliance on the other side of Europe was still going strong. In fact, it was expanding.
Yeah.
In
agreed.
1999, Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic joined NATO. In 2004, seven
So
more
joining,
countries
yeah.
joined. That moved NATO into the old Soviet sphere of influence, making NATO's border with Russia the longest it's ever been.
Wow.
Belarus, Ukraine, and Georgia were now the last post-Soviet countries left between Russia and NATO. But Ukraine and Georgia both wanted to join NATO for a long time, and that made them prime targets for Russia.
Okay.
Ukraine became a NATO partner in 1994, which brought them a step closer to becoming a member.
Україна
Will be-
буде в НАТО. Це історична подія для нашого народу.
And in 2013, they reached an association agreement with the European Union.
I think
But
good
when it came
decision.
time to sign the deal, Ukraine's pro-Russian government refused. Instead, they chose to strengthen ties with Russia. After the decision was announced, hundreds of thousands of protesters took to the streets to demand the agreement be signed.
Ukraine is Europe. Yeah, not Russia.
After months of peaceful protests, the Ukrainian president cracked down and killed more than 100
Oh my
people,
God.
sparking more
I haven't
protests,
known this.
which eventually drove the president out of office and the country.
Oh.
This meant Putin was losing political influence over Ukraine. So he decided to use force instead.
Oh.
First, he invaded and annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula.
Crimea was
Then,
the-
Russia-backed separatists captured the regions of Donetsk and Luhansk and declared them independent of Ukraine. Since then, Ukraine has been locked in a conflict with Russia that has killed 14,000
In Crimea.
people and displaced nearly 2 million. For nearly 8
Yeah, I
years,
know the
Putin
Crimea
has held
war
on to these
happened.
regions, destabilizing Ukraine and keeping it from moving closer to the West. But in November 2021, Putin decided to go all in.
Oh my.
Satellite images showed at least 100,000 Russian troops and military equipment piling up along the border of Ukraine. Putin repeatedly denied any plans to invade, but weeks later, he presented his demands to the West. His main demand was that NATO stop expanding and move its military borders back to where they were in 1997, away
Oh
from
my.
Russia's. Western leaders rejected his demands. Instead, they put forces on standby and reinforced their military presence in Eastern Europe. Back at Ukraine's border, Russian troops continued to gather. And over here, along its border with Belarus, Russia began conducting huge military drills. On February 21st, the threat of war became real.
Считаю
Sorry to
необходимым
talk
принять
along
уже
over this
давно
decision.
назревшее решение.
I think it's power
Незамедлительно
and
признать независимость и суверенитет Донецкой Народной Республики и Луганской Народной Республики.
His troops immediately crossed the Ukrainian border into Russian-backed separatist regions under the pretense of peacekeeping. Ukraine announced a state of emergency, and President Zelensky made a direct appeal to the Russian people.
Война
War will
лишит
take away
гарантий
from everyone.
всех.
No one will
Гарантий
have to
безопасности не
This is
будет
so
больше
sad.
ни у кого.
Who will suffer the
Кто
most?
от этого
People
пострадает
will
больше
suffer.
всего? Люди. Кто
That's right.
этого не хочет больше всего? Люди.
Who can stop
Кто
it? The
может
people.
этого не допустить?
Yeah. This was sad.
Люди.
Hours later, on February 24th, Putin launched a full-scale invasion in Ukraine.
Специальной военной операции.
World leaders have spoken out against Russia's invasion.
We condemn this barbaric attack and the cynical
sad.
arguments to justify it.
This hideous and barbaric venture of Vladimir Putin must end in failure.
Putin chose this
Goodbye.
war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
Anti-war protests have broken
Velvet
out
Silver,
around the world,
London,
including in
St.
Russia,
Petersburg.
despite the risk of arrest. Neighboring nations have opened their borders as hundreds of
that's
thousands
good.
of Ukrainians attempt to flee. NATO's response force has been activated for the first time in history, and the US has sent additional troops to Eastern Europe. But in many ways, the world is treading carefully. Putin controls the world's largest arsenal of nuclear weapons and has
had the
already
strong
threatened
one.
anyone who might interfere.
Кто бы ни пытался помешать нам, должны знать,
Should know that
что
Russia's
ответ России
responsible
будет
if
незамедлительным
it will
и
lead to
приведет
such
вас к таким
consequences.
последствиям, с которыми
This
вы
guy
в своей
is like
истории еще никогда не сталкивались.
So countries around the world are imposing some of the harshest economic sanctions to slow Putin down and sending tons of military aid to support Ukraine. For now, Russian forces keep pushing deeper, but Ukraine is fighting back.
Захищаємо
protecting
нашу
our independence
незалежність,
in our country.
нашу державу. І так буде й далі.
I think this explains. For me, guys, that's why things happens for this one. I think Putin is so greedy to get these nations. They really have their independence already, Ukraine, and yeah, much love and respect to Ukrainian people. And I know that we are not promoting war in this channel, and yeah, it's really helped me explain that the greediness that he has, that's something, it's not good actually. Putting like creating war in your neighboring countries because you have things that you are a leader and you wanted these people and leaders to follow with you with your path and like taking their places also, and I think that's not good, and I wish that one day or someday that people will have a peace and love and acceptance with each other, because this is not so good. No one will like have or agree with war. We have to like making peace, and I hope guys you understand, and you like, I really want to hear from you also at the comment section all about this video, guys, because this is so amazing and interestingly that we learn something from this video from Vax. And I hope if you have some comments and suggestions for my next video reaction to any video that explains something all about like Ukraine, Russia, or other part of the world, put in the comment section. I would love to read and respond with you all. And please do consider like and subscribe also to my channel, Junris React, and be part of our member that you can see in the description box below. And you can help this channel by sending your super thanks that you can see in here. Thank you so much. God bless and mabuhay kayong lahat. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye, guys.